Welcome everyone to Meet Retouch Season 3. The awaiting Meet Retouch Season 3 is finally here. And I want to say I appreciate the patience. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that waited to this very day from different countries. I can see you are actually anticipating for today, and now we are here with the tutorials and the training, or the classes has actually started. I want to say a very big thank you for supporting, and also I want to say you should try and watch these videos and practice as well and get better. I know some people have been getting some testimony from some people who attended season 1 and season 2 and saying they are getting better already. And I also want to hope that the people who just joined recently will also get something from this. So like I said, season 3 is going to be power packed. We're going to talk about a lot of things, so get ready for that and let's get started. So the first thing I like talking about, and I keep talking about, is the tools we use in retouching. And you need to understand these tools when doing retouching. So I'm going to go ahead and explain the tools. The most important tools are 7, but we have up to 12. So I'm going to explain them one by one. We have the object selection tool. I didn't talk about this the first time. The quick selection tool, the lasso tool. So we have the lasso tool, we have the rectangular mask curl tool. So 1, lasso tool 2, we have the quick object selection tool and quick selection tool 4, and then we have the crop tool 5. We have the sampler eyedropper tool 6. We have the spot healing tool 2 and healing brush tool 7 and 8. We have the brush tool 9. We have the mixer brush tool 10. We have the clone stamp tool, which is 11. So 11 tools that are very important in retouching. Okay, and then there are some others. We have the gradient tool and the blur and sharpening tool. In fact, all the tools are important, and the pen tools, but the most important one is the mixer brush tool, the brush tool, and the clone stamp tool, the lasso tool, and the quick selection tool. And also we have I'm trying to look for one. Yep, this is it, the patch tool. So patch, spot healing tool, healing brush tool. So I'm going to explain how they function. Now let's start with the lasso tool. Any tool you see under the lasso tool is to quickly draw a selection. So if I want to select this lamp above, I can just draw on it like this, and it's going to select that places, not the lamp itself, but that area. If I want to select is a quick selection. You just draw around an object and you're going to select the object. Okay, so you can cut and you can leave. You can Control C, edit, cut. You can cut it out and you can do whatever you want to do. So Control C. So that's for lasso tool. It's for drawing selection. We're going to go to the object selection tool, and this takes time. So Control D to deselect. If you select any object, let's say we want to select this, this black stand. So you're just going to draw a mask on it. You're going to draw the selection on it, and it's going to quickly select that. It's going to select the leg. You can see what it did. Select the leg. If you want to select the subject, you just draw a rectangular box on the subject. So this is actually good if you want to edit the background or cut the subject from the background. Why the lasso tool is one if you want to make a quick selection of that area. So that's the tool. And the crop tool, you all know what crop does. The crop allows you to, let me undo, Control Z, Control D to deselect. The crop allow you to crop your image to any size and reshape it. So I'm not going to use this tool. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So that's for the crop tool. The eyedropper tool makes you sample an area. Let's say I want to fill this top part with this color of the background. I'm just going to grab this, a new layer, and then sample. Whatever I sample, holding down Shift will sample that area. or holding down Alt, sorry, Ctrl Z. The holding down Shift will give you the information of the RGB. So you can see what holding down Alt give you the information of the RGB 146, 96, and 50. While holding down Alt will give you the information of the color. It's going to select the color automatically. So you can see this right hand down, this where my mouse is. You can see that the color selected is that color which I just selected. So let's go ahead. And why do we use the sampler tool? It's because when we want to use the brush tool, we don't need to start going inside this color mixer and start looking for sample, looking for color sample. You just need to use the eyedropper tool itself and hold and Alt, select that area, and it's going to select that color for you. And once you do that, you can now start painting. So the eyedropper tool is just to select a color. The brush tool is used to paint. Now since I've created a new layer, I can just go ahead and paint like that, and stamp to an area and paint like that, sample an area, paint like that, sample an area, paint like that, and all of that, sample an area, paint like that. So to cover it up, so it's there but it's not there, it's there but it's not there. So if you want to make it look real, you know what to do, just like that. But that's not the perfect way of covering things on the background. I'm going to delete that layer and let's continue. So we have that, the brush tool, the eyedropper tool, the lasso tool, we've talked about it, the object selection tool, we've talked about it, and I'm going to go ahead with the patch tool. Now the patch tool and the lasso tool, you can use it perfectly. Let me use the patch tool. Look at the patch tool. The patch tool functions like this. You draw an area where you want to remove. It functions like a content aware. You drag it and it's going to replicate the other places, and boom, those things are gone. Let me undo that. Ctrl Z and Ctrl deselect. Now you can select with the lasso tool. Once you select with the lasso tool, you can go ahead to the patch tool and you can see the transition we did then. Boom, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. You can also use the lasso tool. Once you use the lasso tool, you go ahead and go to edit fill. You use it with content aware. So on the drop down menu, content aware, it's okay, and it's just going to remove that by itself. So you can remove all this. Now there are different methods because I can use content aware to remove this big box. If I use Shift F5, that which is a shortcut, let me just use edit view, content aware, right? Yes. So drop down content aware, it's okay. You can actually remove what is there because it's not going to be perfect at times. So let's look at what Photoshop got for us, and it's taking time, so you can see it's not perfect. And let's say we want to use the lasso tool, the patch tool, to move it around and get something like this. Look at what it's going to get. So it's not going to be perfect just the way. So you need to use different technique for that, and of which we're going to talk about it later in the video. So that's for patch tool. The spot healing tool and the healing brush tool I'm going to show you what that does. So for that one, we've talked about the clone stamp tool. The clone stamp tool, you can choose between current layer, current and below, and all layers. So I'm going to use current layer, which is this layer. Ctrl D to deselect. Now you're going to hold down Alt to select an area, and you can just use it to paint over where you want to paint. You can see it's duplicating what is there, just like that. It's just duplicating what is there. Ctrl Z. I'm going to remove Ctrl Z. So that's what it does. So if I hold down Alt here, somewhere here, and I drag it up, I keep dragging it up. Hold on Alt, drag up, hold on Alt, drag up, hold on Alt, drag up. So it's replacing the colors that are there. So instead of doing that, I'm not going to do that. So that's just the content. The clone stamp tool, it clones an area and it stamp it on that area. So the mixer tool brush, or when I use the mixer tool brush, is actually for face retouching and skin retouching, but where I do use it is, for instance, I'm going to show you how I use the mixer tool brush. I'm going to hold down Alt and start painting on all these places. like this. Let's say I painted it like this. Oh god, that's gonna take a little longer. Oh well, okay, let's say we did that. I'm gonna use the mixer toothbrush to blend these two colors that is looking different. I'm just gonna use it to blend it together. Just paint over it. There are settings for the mixer toothbrush, please. So it's not just trying to set using any settings. I'm going to talk about the settings later in the course. So that's what the mixer toothbrush does. You just blend all the image together. Now you can also use the lasso tool and pick an area that's not smooth, and use the patch tool and you drag it to somewhere here, and it's just kind of filling some places like here. Move it up and it gives you that blending color. I'm going to select somewhere like this and push it somewhere upwards, and we have it. So that's how to use the tools. The brush tool, I can sample an area, hold it down Alt and paint over, sample an area, paint over, sample an area, paint over, sample an area, paint over. So you can see what's happening. Paint over, sorry, let's undo that. So you can decrease the opacity as well. Sample an area, paint over, like that. Sample an area, paint over. So later you go on with the mixer toothbrush and you start blending again. You keep blending till you have smooth transition between those colors, and that's how to use those tools. Very simple, very simple, very simple. So you need to know the right time to use it. Okay, and as well you can use the lasso tool, you can use the rectangular selection tool, whichever one you want to use, as you know what to do. Okay, so which one did I talk about again? I think I talked about the spot healing tool. Okay, so let's get to this image. I'm going to rasterize it, and I know you've seen this image before, so I'm going to use this tool, the spot healing tool. The spot healing tool actually uses content aware method. So you can see here it's content aware that's written, and proximity match, meaning it's going to select somewhere very, very close. But this one is actually having a lot of blemishes and rashes and pimples. So whatever, we have spot healing tool. So whenever I click on the spot, it's going to remove it like this, like this. Healing brush tool, I need to have this one. So you just sample an area and then you paint over. So that's how to use it. Sample an area. So that's how to use the tool healing brush. And now we're going to get into this thing proper. Okay, so that's just all the tools and how to use